Trump shows in this clip that he is incapable of deviating from his pre-written dialogue trees. He talks about fraud, he talks about horrible elections and the border all within 10 seconds.
No, it's a very unfair system. It's a very corrupt system. It's a very bad system. You know, you need borders. We really don't have good borders. I had great borders. You know, my all-time favorite chart that I pulled down that day with
that saved your life.
Flying bullet. But that it really saved my life. It was, so you could say immigration saved my life if you think.
No, I could say God saved your life.
Well, I think that too, because a lot of people are saying that, and maybe.
Yeah, but screw Corey Comparator, right? I mean, God didn't save his life. It's just absurd to me.
He saved my life because I want to save this country.
I want to show you this clip of Trump still defending his crowd sizes in an interview almost a week after the debate where VP Harris poked and prodded at people leaving his rallies. Now, Trump did an interview with the right-wing news network Real America's Voice. I struggle to even call it a news network, but the right-wing reporter who was interviewing him slowly begins to realize that the man he's talking to doesn't know anything about anything, whether it's tariffs relating to the economy, or whether it's foreign policy and Trump's praise of dictators, or whether it's Trump's conspiracy theories and constant defense of his crowd sizes. He's losing his mind, and let's break down some of these clips because they're almost too easy to debunk at this point. Make sure you leave a like on the video below and double check to make sure you're subscribed to the Mockler channel. In this first clip, Trump is defending his crowd sizes.
Screaming more, and I was up there for about an hour
and they waited 8 hours. I mean, these people were there all day.
They were screaming more, and I'm saying I was here for an hour and 45 minutes. Oh, it's so sad to see. The press is so corrupt. I didn't realize that they said that.
Yeah.
But she said that just as a way of, you know, she said, oh, the people leave. Nobody leaves. I mean,
nobody leaves.
When I say nobody, I mean virtually nobody leaves.
You know you're mad when a week after the debate, you're still trying to defend your crowd sizes. And watch this clip right after.
Good. Thank you, Carl. Thank you, Carl. New York.
Either nobody leaves or nobody's showing up in the first place. I mean, we can see people walking off here, but half of the seats are empty. The crowd can't even fill up the seats. So after Trump talks about crowd sizes, they then talk about election fraud that is non-existent, and this moment is hilarious because it's so easy to fact check. Just watch this.
You know, the Starbucks, which is run by a very liberal CEO, by the way, Starbucks went to court to try and stop mail-in ballots for unionization of Starbucks. And they argued in court that mail-in ballots are not trustworthy. There's too much fraud.
They do. Who won?
I don't even know the end result.
I like how Wayne Allen Root is so happy. He's like, you know, Starbucks even brought a suit about mail-in ballots. That's how bad the problem is. And Trump asks actually a fair question. He says, who won the case? So I looked up this case to check. It says, U.S. court appears to back mail ballot union election for Starbucks store. That means they backed the mail-in ballots at the end of the court case. The first line reads, a U.S. appeals court panel on Wednesday seemed skeptical of Starbucks' claims that an election won by a union at the company's flagship Seattle store was invalid because it was held via mail-in ballot. So, the U.S. Appeals Court disagreed with Starbucks' claims that mail-in ballots were rigged, and they even said, hey, number one, there's no evidence of this. Number two, we looked at the rules, did recounts, the mail-in ballots were completely legitimate. It's almost like a one-to-one analog of Donald Trump's massive election fraud claims. He says that mail-in ballots are rigged, but every time he takes it to any sort of court, they double, triple check and say it's just not true.
You know, I'll check on you. I'm going to find the result for you.
Okay.
He's not going to find the result.
I don't want to find out.
All right, so last question for you. All my fans at Real America's Voice know that you're the man to solve the problems of crime, inflation, open borders, and World War III. Those are the four biggest problems in America. Yep. You're the guy. You're going to do it. We all have confidence.
What a loaded question. He's already saying that the criminal is going to solve crime.
What we don't have confidence in is how do we stop a rigged election? How do you stop overseas ballots that the Democrats are now talking about? They're going to try and get all these overseas ballots and stick them into battleground states. The U.S. Postal Service endorsing Kamala. Who trusts them? How do you trust this system, and how do we stop voter fraud?
Well,
Democrats aren't talking about overseas ballots and rigging elections. I worked the 2020 election. I was 18 years old, and it was a long day. We had to get there at 3 or 4 a.m. to set up these machines, and we didn't get to leave till 9 or 10 that night. So yeah, it was a long day, but the entire time I had to be paired up with a Republican. So I had a Republican to check me the entire time, and vice versa. I can't just go around willy-nilly planting ballots.
I don't trust this system at all. They are horrible, horrible cheaters. They were in the last election.
Yes, they
and
were.
Probably they were in 2016, but they didn't cheat enough.
And by the proof is Zuckerberg, who confessed that he helped to rig the election.
Well, in 2016, Hillary Clinton went around. She was furious. She said, "Why didn't you do this for me?" Because it was a pretty close election. And she's saying why she was an angry woman. She's saying, "Why didn't you do this for me?"
This reporter is annoying the hell out of me because he's trying to give Trump the talking points in real time. But keep in mind, Trump has been on a rampage about how Democrats are divisive over the past few days, and he just called us horrible, I believe 4 times in 10 seconds. He said, it's a horrible, horrible thing. They're horrible cheaters. So this is clearly the man that is divisive. Let's watch this clip.
This is my 16th interview with the greatest president of my lifetime. 16.
We'll have to cut back.
This is going to be the best one ever. So
Trump could literally shit on the floor and this guy would burst out laughing like that.
listen, all my fans at Real America's Voice heard I was going to be doing an interview with you, and they all sent me emails. I must have 5,000 emails. They all wanted me to open the interview with the same thing. Thank you. We love you and appreciate everything you've done for us. We appreciate the bullet you almost took for us. We appreciate 4 years of no salary in the White House. Your fans love you.
Thank you very much. And they love you too. And for good reason, because you have a spirit and you get it.
By spirit, he means this guy is loyal and isn't afraid to absolutely brown nose. This guy is such a sycophant, it makes me sick.
Same time, you're both angry but a happy warrior nevertheless, because you see what's happening with our country, where millions of people coming in from jails and from they take their convicts off the street, they take their killers, their murderers, their drug dealers, they empty their jails and they empty their mental institutions, and then you add terrorists on top of it, and they're all being dumped into our country.
This is some of the most apocalyptic rhetoric I've ever heard. And again, Trump is saying that we're being divisive, but he just basically insinuated that almost every immigrant that comes here is a terrorist, is a criminal, look who's talking, was emptied from a mental insane asylum or whatever he said, and he is trusting the numbers of Maduro, an absolute dictator, over the numbers of more liberal sources. So a few things. Immigrants commit crimes at lower rates than native-born citizens. If 1/3 of a town is made up of immigrants, it only follows that 1/3 of the crime will be committed by immigrants, but that doesn't even happen. When immigrants move here for a better life, they commit crimes at lower rates than American citizens. So Trump is already lying, and I think Trump is doing this thing again where he's confusing the word asylum with mental asylum. So when immigrants are seeking asylum, they are seeking a safe space, refuge, but when Trump sees the word asylum, he immediately connects it to Hannibal Lecter. It's so absurd.
And if you say it and you don't have a nice smile on your face, they say, "Oh, he's angry." You know, they were saying at the debate, "I did well, but I looked angry." I said, "You're supposed to be angry. How can you be happy? 21 million people came into our country."
You don't need a smile on your face, but you don't have to say everything like you're the Joker and the world is burning around you.
From prisons, from jails, from mental institutions, and terrorists are pouring into our country. And
Terrorists are not pouring into our country. Let me tell you, I talked to somebody from Real America's Voice. This is in fact Brian Glenn, who is Marjorie Taylor Greene's boyfriend, and he began to scream at me immediately when I asked him about Trump's convictions. This is worth a watch.
Do you think Donald Trump, when he was convicted on all 34 counts, what did you think about that? Because I was...
Doesn't mean, Matt, and none of those 34 counts is worthless. You got a worthless case. You got a case from the FEC.
Why is it worthless?
It's worthless because there was no crime that was committed.
Falsifying business records with the intent of covering up another crime. Michael Cohen went...
That's what they said. That's what you say.
That's what the jury said. The jury handpicked by Donald Trump's lawyers.
I know exactly what you're all about right now. You're not an independent journalist. You're nothing but a Trump hater, and you're out here trying to get everybody to be tripped up. Let me ask you a question. Who thinks these 34 indictments are worth a piece of crap?
You know what? They all trying to interview the
Okay, so we're the divisive ones, but I'm 21 years old, and I'm interviewing a grown-ass man. This is a grown dude who's obviously been reporting for a while now. He's in his suit. I'm just in my t-shirt. He should be more professional than me, and he immediately blows up in my face. And all that I said was, this was a jury handpicked by Donald Trump's lawyers. They went through the process of voir dire, and they helped weed out all of these jurors. So how are you going to say that the trial was rigged? My broader point here is that these people are so divisive, are so infantile, that I can't even talk with them without them blowing up in my face.
create some ballots.
But they didn't call her angry like they call you.
By the way, yeah, that's right. And everybody else, every other Democrat, you know.
More anger among Muslims around the world.
There's plenty of anger right now. How can you have more?
You don't think it'll exacerbate
David,
the problem?
David, I mean, I know you're a sophisticated guy. The world is a mess. The world is as angry as it gets.
This is how Trump speaks all the time, and he wonders why he comes across as angry. Either way, if you enjoyed this video, make sure you leave a like, comment a blue heart, hit that subscribe button, and have a great rest of your day. See ya.